Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back. It's gonna be another busy week. Maybe start harvest this week. We got lots of stuff going on. Brock's gonna be here in a few minutes, and we need to get our draper head hooked up to the combine. So we're gonna start moving some stuff around and getting it out. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. I told you on Friday or Thursday at the end of last week's video there that I wasn't making a video on Friday because I had plans. Well, my wife and I had a wedding in Houston, Texas. So we got on a plane Friday morning and flew to Texas for the weekend. Had a good time. It was a nice quick trip. It's hot in Texas. I don't want to be there anymore. I'm glad to be back home, although it's quite warm here for September as well. Got the sprayer moved out of the barn. Just let it walk back here. The crops are changing rapidly. These are some of our earliest beans here. These are a 2.2 maturity. And yeah, I don't know. Are they ready? They're not quite ready, but they're darn close. By the end of the week for sure, but yeah. Maybe we'll look at them this afternoon. I don't know. They're wet now. We got lots of dew on them. But they look decent. We'll see. We got to get the bean head ready. After we get our bean head hooked up and figure out what we need to get for parts, we got our parts for our disc rippers, so we got to get this put back together. All right, we got the bean head taken out where we can get to it with the combine and the straps off so we can pick it up. Well, let's see if the combine will start. That's iffy. Smells like used combine in here now. Ugh. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, get used to this seat. You're gonna be spending a lot of time in it for the next 2 months. I know 40 foot's not a big head anymore and everybody runs them, but gosh dang is it a big head. All right, now is the perfect time to do this crap, software updates. So we're getting them going while we've got time. Okay, so looking at the bottom side of this head, you'll see all these yellow skid plates, skid shoes. I've replaced some of these before, including this one here, I think, has been done like a year and a half ago. I was curious if any of these ones, this kind of individual little ones, were bad. This one's got a little nick in it, but it's not really worn out. We might try and cut that off. Most of those look okay. What I did know was bad was this center one. So you can see here, we have worn through and catching dirt there. We've got some pieces here that are worn through on it, up here in this edge, and over here on this side it's starting to be the same, and so that one needs to be replaced. That's the big one right under the center feed section. It's going to be sort of expensive for that piece of plastic, but it's okay. What happens when you get edges like this is that it catches on the bean stubble and then it starts pushing, especially in the evenings when things start getting a little damp, and you end up pushing trash and beans and stuff in front of the cutter bar instead of it flowing underneath the head nice. So you want to make sure those skid plates are in good shape. This one here, that's iffy. Could be replaced. Probably not critical just yet, but it's going to wear more. So I thought there was more of them that were bad than there are. We've replaced a few of these in the past, it appears. Like this one here is just a little off colored. I think that one's already been replaced. I think this end got done as well. So it's really just that big one in the center. So I'm gonna get that ordered and coming. I don't know if the dealer will have it in stock where we can get it today and put it on there or not. I don't want to take it off until we have the new one, because there's a chance that we might need to use this before we get one. So let's go check on my software updates. We can shut the combine down here. Oh, almost done. There was a bar going across. I was gonna film it, and then as soon as I turned the camera on, it started to restart. Got the software updates done, and I got that piece ordered, and the rivets. Oh, I was going to count how many rivets are on there. It said 33. I ordered 30 because I'm sure we have some. That looks about right. Let me do some counting. 33. So they actually had all that stuff in stock. I shouldn't say they actually. I was a little surprised on the skid plate. I didn't know if they would carry that one or not, but they did. They have 3 of them at our local dealer and a whole bunch in the company. So should be here later this afternoon. There is a high wear version. It is twice as expensive. They did not have that one in stock. So I probably might have gotten that one had I had if I had the time to wait for them to get it, but it's all right. This one has worked for, I don't know, how long have we had that head now? Got it with the combine. This is year 4 on it, I think. It'll be fine. Now, we can start putting this back together. So, there's a piece over on the bench, but we need to take these 2 bushings over and put them in, and then we got to kind of put it together with that bracket and the spring and compress the spring, and it's a whole thing. So in here, there's a solid bushing and then a split bushing. I have new ones of them right here, but we got to get the old ones out. Now, they have started to protrude anyway on their own from it being loose, and so I think they'll come out fairly easily. Let's grab a punch and find out. Let's see. No, not that. Let's use this bolt. That'll work. It's too big. That'll work. Well, that one didn't come out too bad. It doesn't look in terrible shape. Probably would have been fine. But when you got stuff apart, you put new ones in. Well, the solid bushing came out just fine. The split bushing is proving to be a little more difficult. I've gotten it to move a little bit, but it doesn't want to go. This is terrifying. Yeah. Oh, something fell out. Oh no, that's just a plate. Oh, God. All right, so here's this piece. It goes in there, and we have to get those holes to line up. But in order to do that, we have to compress this spring. So we have this spring compression tool that goes down through there. And then we stick a bolt in. Somehow. Get it lined up just right. There we go. And then this goes on top. This nut goes on, and you tighten it down to compress that until we get those holes to line up. And then we can put it back on the machine. Okay, well, that is back together now, and that spring is under a tremendous amount of tension. I'm not real thrilled that there's no thread sticking out of that jam nut like there is on this other one, but those are the part numbers that it called for. So I don't understand why, but whatever, it's fine. Anyway, it goes in here, and we have to drop this bar down to get it in there. We've got that kind of in there temporarily with just a punch. We need to support the back, kind of lift up. I don't know, maybe we'll try lift back here, but I would lift it under here before. It's just got so much leverage. It's a parallel linkage that you're trying to keep the dang thing straight. And yeah. So we need to go in and lower the whole ripper down so we can get some blocks or a stand under there or something. I don't know. Well, that's in there supporting it, and it's loose, so I think that'll work. So we're going to drop that down, and then we got to get that spring bracket thing back up in there. All right, so that is back up in there and tight. So now I'm going to put this brace back in before something falls on us, and then it's just a matter of putting the disc blade arm back on. That's easy. So Brock's in the tractor for me. Let's see if we can do this. All right, well, we got that back up there, got it hanging, and the bolt and everything is in. This is the bolt that came out of there. You can see she had a little wear on her, but it's also not the original bolt. That has already come apart, clearly, at some point. So they both say they're grade 8s, but I wonder if that's some super hard, fancy something. I don't know. Just time to replace it. So anyway, Brock is going to get this all put back together, and I got to go dump some seed wheat bins into a wagon, and yeah. We treated all this wheat on Friday. I got to get it dumped back in the wagon. I'd let it sit there and kind of ran out of time to do stuff. So yesterday, after we got back at a decent time. But we did some more pumpkin harvest, and we put them all on the trailer. Holy cow. White pumpkins, mini pumpkins, a few butternut squash, black pumpkins, pie pumpkins, regular pumpkins, warty pumpkins, hot chocolate pumpkins, bigger jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, green pumpkins, weird ribby pumpkins that are supposed to turn orange. There's a bunch of those out there yet because none of them are orange. Yeah, we picked, let's see, I added them all up. All the ones on the trailer plus the ones that my wife has already got around her house and some other ones that we've given away. 672, something like that we've pulled out of there so far. It's a lot of pumpkins. Well, Brock got our ripper put back together, and he got that plastic piece off on the bean head. I was going to walk out there and look at it. Dad's got a tire there from the backhoe. He's using it as a bulldozer again and ripped the front valve stem off, but that's okay. We'll get it fixed. So we're waiting on this part to come. I gotta go down and finish stripping the forms off of my concrete from last week. I got the one side done, just gotta do the other side, and we gotta get all of the posts pulled out. I kinda need the backhoe, but Dad's got the backhoe with a flat tire at the moment, so oh well. So, are these beans ready? There's a few green ones along the edge. You can see a few leaves out in here yet. Stems are a little green, but the pods are awfully brown. They're awfully cracky. I wasn't planning on combining beans today, but I might combine beans today. It's the worst that can happen. You run a load and they're 18. You run a half a load and find out they're way too hot. Oh, that one cracked. So, best way to tell if soybeans are mature or not, you take a pod, you husk it out, you get yourself a bean, put it in your teeth, and you bite. And if it cracks, like that one did, it's dry. That bean was well under 15%, probably close to 13, which is the goal, 13%. The question is, what is the average? Are these green ones out here enough to make them way too wet? Or is the bulk of the field gonna be under 15? Because if they're under 15, we're going. Problem is, I'm really busy the next couple of days. What do we do? Like I said, those are all 2-2s. We are putting wheat in that field. Looking out across it, I think we could probably combine them if I wanted to today. We'll see if everybody else is ready for this. It'd be kind of nice to do a little bit. We do have, so those are the 2-2s. This field in front of me, that's the March planted beans, but those are a 3-0 maturity. So even though they were planted a month and a half sooner, they're not ready yet because they're a fuller maturity bean. And they're turned, right? They're getting there, but they need a couple of weeks yet. However, across the road from this, over by that green roofed house over there, we have another 95 acres of the 2-2s that are probably ready to go as well. Corn looks real good right there along the trees, doesn't it? It's gotten very dry on us. Dad's got a little spot here where he stripped some sod off this weekend for me. He wants to pull some fill dirt out of here for around my house side driveway up there that we need lots of fill dirt. He tried digging a pond back here, or sort of dug a pond back here a few years ago, and that's kind of the high spot, the edge there. So we'll use the scraper and move some dirt, I guess. I don't know. There's our big old sheet of poly that goes up under there. All right, we need the big old rivet gun for the rivets, and to get a couple more out of the parts bin. Brock and I got that piece up there. I think it's all good to go. I'm gonna hook the head up, the hydraulics and electrical and PTO, and we're gonna open everything up and run it here sitting in the grass, make sure there's no calibrations that need done, make sure everything is working the way that it's supposed to, and then we'll see what we're gonna do from there. All right, let's we got our grain tank opened up, everything looks good back there. Let's go ahead and crack the door open, start the separator on idle. Okay. Thrashing speed 0. Yep, figured that was the case. Alright, we gotta go shift our transmission out here. I hate that stupid horn. Alright, so we changed the concave, one of our convex concaves after weed harvest, and when you do that, you put the transmission of the rotor in neutral, which is this lever, and then we forgot to shift it back in. That's a problem. Shut her down. The bolt that holds that shield on broke. It's got this big spacer in there, and that's been rubbing on the idler pulley. Got a nice groove in it. We'll see if we can find a longer bolt and put it back in there. Look, it's fixed. Close enough. The bolt broke off into the threaded casting, and I don't have a bolt. Finally, let's try this again. Take 2. We got a engine exhaust proximity sensor thing. I think the sensor's going bad. I remember it was doing that earlier. I checked the wire connections. It didn't seem to make it better. So, all right, ready? Sounds smooth. Everything's spinning. It's dusty. Speed her up. Oh yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Speed her up. Okay, we need to slow our rotor speed down a little bit. It'll adjust. Whoa, not to 210. Start at about 600. Okay. I'm gonna close the door. We're gonna idle her down and try the head. All is good. Excellent. All right, now we got to change this over to float mode or whatever here. We want header height sensing off ground off, on ground on. Like that. Resume height, good. Feeder house float, good. Lateral tilt, good. Auto reel speed, good. Fore aft resume off. We might change that one. Reel position off. That one I want off. Okay, so when we hit number 2, what do we have? Well, that's not what we want. How do I fix that? What happens when I hit number 3? It goes down. What about number 2? It's thinking about it. We got to get it to switch from using the off-ground sensors that we use for wheat to the on-ground sensors that we use for beans. Figure out how to do that. Got it figured out. I think we're in good shape. I had to get the Hydroflex pressure lowered down so that it would drop the cutter bar, and then it sensed that it needed to go down. Yeah, it works. Anyway, let's get it unhooked. Well, we've got fueled up. We've got everything set. We're ready to go. The sprayers needs to get put back in the barn. I think we're gonna have to go and try it. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The beans look ready. I don't know. They were crunchy. Well, like I said, what's the worst that can happen? Let's try it. I really wasn't anticipating starting harvest today. This morning when I got up, I had all kinds of other stuff to do. But like I said, tomorrow and Wednesday I'm gone and can't do any. So if I can do something today, oh sure, why not? Let's do it. See where we're at. And then Thursday will be go time. Go like crazy time. Find out what happens. Brock's putting the sprayer back in the barn for me. Move it out of the way. Phil will be a little surprised when he gets back. He was down to Berkey today working on some stuff. We only really have one truck available to us at the moment, which is fine. Cascadia is at the dealer getting something replaced. And the new truck is still in the shop. He's taking it in the morning tomorrow to get stickers put on the doors. So I'm not using it today and getting it dirty, I can assure you of that. Well, let's see what happens, I guess. We're gonna start on these ends and work back here on this high ground a little bit. Some of the low ground is a little green. I don't know. We may just do these ends, decide they're way too wet, we may do a truckload, we may do the whole field. I just kind of depends on how it goes here, so. Let me get going and comfortable, and then I'll show you what's going on. We got to get our settings dialed in right and figure out what our moisture is. It says 18 here. I don't know if that's anywhere close to accurate or not. We got all kinds of dust. Looking in the mirror there. Everything seems to be working. We've got beans in the tank behind me. I like that. I don't know. Okay, well, I feel like we're getting there. We'll have to get out and check our losses here in a minute, but it says they're 12%. That means it's go time, like yesterday. Well, we've got most of a hopper load, 80% or so. Says 12.9. It also says they're 70 bushel beans. I don't know if I believe any of that. But if they are 12.9, that's perfect, and we're going to go like crazy here. And I went through some green ones along that edge. But yeah, so we're going to walk up and get the grain cart, get the combine emptied, and yeah, they're crunchy. I don't know. Get the other side of the field opened up. Hey, our X is a little dirty. Bird poop sitting in the barn. It's fine. It'll be fine. Get all of this stuff set up how we want it. We're just going to park it on the end and dump into it. We're not dumping on the go, obviously. I'm kind of by myself. Brock had to go get a fire call, and he had to leave at 4 o'clock anyway, and it's 3:45. No big deal. We just got to get everything set up here. Let's see what a pass right through the middle of the field does here. These look like really good beans. Now, here's an important factor, right? So these are our 2.2 maturity beans, are the earliest ones we plant. These are the same beans we had at our farm in Berkey last year that averaged over 80. They're really, really good variety. And we had pretty decent, we got dry, but we had pretty decent moisture most of the summer. It's the late August and September that has been very, very dry. Well, these beans were pretty well made by then. And so I think these may be some of our better beans. Who knows? We'll see. I have no idea how accurate that is, but they're dry and they're really good right here. I don't know that they're 90, but I think these will be 70 bushel beans. But again, they were made before we got dry. Our 3.0s, 3.2s, 3.4s that we've got out here that were still green when we got really dry, yeah, they may not be as good, but that remains to be seen. Oh man, we got a full grain cart already. What a deal. About 12-ish acres done, something, I don't know. We're gonna unload that into a truck and see what the weight says on the cart compared to what the combine's telling me we've got done so far, and then we'll be able to have a pretty decent idea of if our yield monitor is at all accurate or not. So I'm gonna walk out here into this patch that we have harvested off of the end rows since I've gotten my settings kind of dialed in where I want, and see if there's any beans laying on the ground, or how many beans are laying on the ground. I'm sure there are some. A couple is okay, a lot is not. I will have to look in the app, but I believe it's 3 or 4 beans per square foot, per every square foot to equal 1 bushel of loss per acre. That's a pretty big number, so let's see what we got. All right, so I found a spot here, and I carefully and gently pulled back the residue. This is a row, this is a row. Our rows are 15 inches apart, so that's more than a foot. We're trying to look in a 1 foot by 1 foot square and see how many beans we can find. The answer is not very many. I think there's a broken one right there, smashed one. Yeah, and there's one right there. That's it. Oh, there's one. So 1 per square foot is 1/3 of a bushel. So 2 is 2/3 of a bushel. That's pretty low loss, especially if the yield is anywhere close to what the yield monitor says that it is. We'll take it. So that tells me that I can dial in the yield loss monitor, and it's pretty close. But then we can start working on the harvest automation stuff, the cameras that are adjusting the combine auto maintain feature and all that, and we can start cleaning up the grain sample a little bit. They're a little potty. They're not terrible, but they're a little pottier than I would like, so we'll try and clean them up. Pretty nice farm equipment, harvest equipment. Yeah, we'll we're gonna have some fun this harvest, I hope. Loading the truck. Well, it's not super full. We could get a little more in there, but I bet it weighs enough. It's gonna go to town. Says we put in 54,726 pounds. We're right at 80,000 or just a touch over. That's just a generic tare weight. We don't have the actual tare weight in there. So let's go see what that compares to the combine. And we'll probably just leave that because then we can compare it to a real scale. Yeah, monitor's a little high. It says 55,881, so that's 1,100 pounds or so that we're off. We can put a little correction in there. It will get better over time. We do run active yield on this combine, and so it kind of self-calibrates itself over time. But I might figure out what percentage that is and make a little correction. Be about 2% or so. Yeah, about 2%. So that's okay. 2% off of 76 is still 75 bushels soybeans. We'll take that, won't we? The beans are getting better. I'm able to make 2 rounds on a dump without having to stop. You know, I can make 2 rounds before I have to unload. And well, this time the grain tank 85% full warning light went off, which it has not done yet. We got her up to 91%. We're fuller than the previous rounds have been. So the beans got markedly better on the last 2 rounds here. I wonder why. It is better ground. We're off the top of that hill over there and into some lower ground that's pretty good dirt. That might be it, but there may be a spray difference. I don't know. Either way, these beans are really good. Way better than I was kind of anticipating. So that's good. That's really, really good. We are just a touch high on the yield monitor, but it's maybe a bushel and a half to 2 bushel less than what the monitor says. We'll be okay. This is exciting. All right, good beans. They're dry. I have not pulled out the actual moisture tester yet. We'll take a sample off the truck when we take it up when we're done here, but it says we're averaging 12.6. I can't imagine they're a lot different than that. They're certainly not over 15, so it's go time. Here's the problem. We got a lot going on the next couple of days, and I'm not going to be in the combine, I don't think. Dad might be, but I am not, so we'll do what we can. So tomorrow we've got a cool video coming for you guys. One, in the morning we're going to haul some soybeans, so we'll do that. But then tomorrow afternoon I am heading down to Bucyrus, Ohio, north of Columbus there, to meet up with Truss Ag Service. I think that's what his business is called. But he's the spray drone guy. He was on Millennial Farmers channel back in July there. I had talked to this guy back in March and kind of put it off because I wasn't ready to do anything then, and then I tried getting him to come and spray some corn for me when I was looking for somebody this summer, and he was booked up. It's fine, no big deal, but we kind of put some stuff in motion to go meet up with him here this fall. So I am heading down there tomorrow. We're going to check out his operation and setup there. We're going to check out the drones. I'm sure he'll fly them for us. I'm sure we'll see them spraying. They were spreading cover crop seed with it, which I'm kind of interested in as well. So we're gonna go check all of that out and make a really cool video out of spray drones. And I'm working on getting licensing stuff in place. I've got some testing coming up the end of the month here that I've got to do. There's more that I've got to do, but I want to sit down with him and talk through what exactly do I have to do. What are the differences in some of these different drones? What should my expectations be? And what can I realistically get out of one, and what will we have into one? So we're going to go and figure all of that stuff out tomorrow, and I am excited for it. I think you guys will enjoy it as well. And then on Wednesday, the next day, we're going back down in that direction, or at least south, to the Ohio Farm Science Review. The big farm show in Ohio is happening. Starts tomorrow. On Tuesday. We will be down there on Wednesday, and by we I mean me, going by myself. Brock had to work. Dad's busy. He's probably combining beans. So, yeah, we're gonna go down and check out the show and take everything in, and then at 1 o'clock in the Golden Harvest booth, I've got an interview with Wade, our Golden Harvest agronomist down there, and he's going to talk to me about being a YouTube farmer and different things that we're doing on our farm and everything. So you guys are welcome to come and check that out. It's at 1 p.m. Farm Science Review, Golden Harvest booth, Wednesday afternoon. So yeah, come check that out. Sure are dusty. Can't see anything down there on the cutter bar. There's that. That's good. All right, well, we're gonna unload. I don't know if my cart's gonna be full or not. It's gonna be close. But those they're coming to get that wagon of wheat, so I suppose I should go up and deal with that. If we need to make another round, we'll make another round. But we basically are gonna be filled up anyway, so no big deal. We're not full, but we're gonna call that close enough. I won't get a whole nother round on there. It's enough to fill a truck. Close enough to fill a truck anyway. So we're gonna shut her down here. Phil did offer to throw some in the overhead, but it's day one. I'm not in that big of a hurry. It'll be fine. Jeez, Pete, look at the dust cloud behind me. I know. It's not a representative sample, but they've mixed through the combine and the grain cart, and now they're in the truck, and I'm not crawling through the whole thing to take some off the whole length of the truck. Let's go test them. 12-1. That sample said 12-1. Okay, well, I guess we're getting started with combine and beans. I gotta get this wagon out for these guys, and I'm gonna go pick up my boys from football practice. Well, there goes that. I am sure that there will be more wagon loads of wheat to be treated. I just had a couple guys ask me about it, and they weren't ready, and I don't know. Phil was getting some of ours around, so we'll have more. All right, well, we got the boys from football. It's a rather peaceful night, sitting out here eating my popcorn. Bean harvest got started. It's a good deal. Dad's going to run the combine tomorrow. They'll keep moving. Back over that way. Combine's right there. I got that other stuff going on we already talked about. So we'll check out the drone sprayers tomorrow and the farm show on Wednesday. And then we'll be back up here on Thursday and keep going with harvest. It's really dry. Forecast stays really dry for a while. Doesn't look like there's any rain coming anytime soon. So we should make a good dent in the early stages of harvest here. We'll see how many more beans we've got ready. We've got these 2.2s, another field of them, and then the 2.5s will be the next ones. And they're not quite ready, but they're getting close. We do have that field of corn in there that we'll need to pull some ears when we get back and see if maybe we can run some corn in here before the bulk of the beans are ready. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great night. See you in the morning.